What's poppin', my J dolls? And I am back with another video. You guys, before we get into this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and ring that bell. You guys, we're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, so don't play with us, because we ain't never one of them. And if you think you can play with us, bitch, bye. Okay? Because we not the ones, okay? Like, the J dolls is not the ones, okay? So yeah, today, you guys, I'm gonna pretty much have a discussion on how to cut toxic ties when it comes to toxic friendships, when it comes to toxic relationships, and getting out of toxic cycles, you bitches, okay? Because it took me a long motherfucking time. I'm gonna tell y'all this. It took me a long motherfucking time to break some toxic cycles. I'm gonna kind of start with toxic relationship because I think that was like a longest cycle of my life. And then I'm gonna talk about toxic friendships. And kind of also like maybe internal toxic actions as well. So like I think this is a really good thing for me as well, because I get to kind of voice my opinion and like kind of let my titties was just out, y'all, I'm sorry, but it just let y'all know, you know, how to get over toxic people, because it's really hard, because this generation actually glorifies toxicity. And at one point, y'all, I really glorified toxicity. I thought that shit was cute. Now I know that shit ain't cute. And now I know like I can do so much better in my life in certain different aspects in life, for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna start with toxic relationships. So I really think as a whole, like as women, we really need to value ourselves more. I'm not gonna say we don't love ourselves, but if you're in a toxic relationship, you don't value yourself. And like what I mean by that is just like, you know you can do better, but you still continue to settle. And that means you don't value yourself and you don't think there's better for you or you deserve better. What you do. Sorry, my dog's back here. So what you do. So I'm going to kind of talk about my example of how I had a toxic relationship and like kind of how I got through it and things that you could do to get through toxic relationships. So for me, I was in a toxic relationship, and no, it was not physically toxic. No, it was not verbally toxic. It was mentally toxic. It was like mentally draining. Okay, like it was toxic to my personal mental health. Let's just say that. Okay, let's clear the air, because some people in relationships deal with like physical abuse and they call that toxic, and then some people deal with like a mental abuse and they call that toxic. And some people go through where they're with somebody that causes a toxic it causes a toxic mental health cycle for them, if that makes sense. So anyways, y'all, so, and this is the last time I'm actually going to ever talk about this situation or this person. Now, if I do a story time in the name of the person that I gave a fake name, like Larry, if that comes up in a story time because he's a part of a certain story time, then that's that. But I'm not doing any full videos about Larry anymore. I'm not going to address anything that happened with me and Larry anymore. Like, obviously, if you comment on the video that I made about him, cool. But other than that, y'all, I'm leaving it in the past and I'm living my life, and I'm really just happy. I'm really just happy. So let me just tell you guys, like, I was on and off with Larry for almost 3 years, maybe like 2.5, but it was very long. It's a very long time. And when I tell y'all, when we was on, it would be like we only on for like a month. And then I break it off. Every time I was the person to break it off, because I was mentally exhausted all the time. So like literally that went on for 2.5 years. The reason why I went on for 2.5 years is because we got very used to this toxic cycle of like, I'm breaking it off, and then like he's coming back into my life in like the slightest way, which I'm gonna talk about, y'all, in like the slightest way, and me taking that slightest way to be like, oh yes, let me just talk back to him, let me just get with him, let me just go to his house. Like it could be like literally he could say hello and I'm like, okay, I'm coming over. Like that type of dumb shit. Like, let me tell y'all, I'm gonna be very honest and very honest about myself and like how we can play into like the toxicity as well. But anyways, so yeah, so boom, like it would always be like we're off because I'm just like, I'm done, I can't deal with you no more, and then we'll be back on because he will reach out to me. And, so, and even when I cut him off for like, I could sworn it was like a good 4 months or 3 months was probably the longest time I ever cut him off. And that time, like, he kept texting me, adding me on Snapchat, do this, do that, do that. Like, but he wasn't really doing nothing. Let me just make it clear, like, I cannot say, oh, he did all this, so like I just had to go back to him. He didn't do shit. Like, he did something so tiny, and I will fall into the trap of like, okay, let me go running back. And like, that's the one thing y'all should never do. A man that's not even showing you any type of attention, any type of like showing you that he really wants you back by like physically doing things, like buying you gifts, getting you flowers, like calling you and telling you about how he feel, then leave that nigga in the dust. Like, I'm telling y'all right now, leave that nigga in the dust. Don't ever get back. I don't really even believe we get back with people in general, because once you left them for a reason. But if you do get back with them, don't ever go back to a nigga that ain't doing shit for you. That's doing like a little tiny thing and you're moving the relationship. So let me just tell y'all, with me and Larry, we were never in a relationship. We were in a situationship for 2.5 years. And that was on both of our sides. Like, let me be real. I didn't want to be in a relationship with him. He didn't want to be in a relationship with me. Like, we liked each other a lot, but it was just like we were not meant to be. Like, if you know oil and water, that's how we was. Like, with Larry, he used to lie a lot. And like I said, Leo stand for liars. And actually, like, my energy, you guys, I'm gonna talk about energy and stuff like this. I'm dropping all the Leos in my life. Like, damn near, I'm not fucking with no more Leos. And this is what God wants from me. Like, I just can't. These people are just fake. And I'm not lying to you. Like, these people that I've been around that are Leos have been very fake. They had bad energy. Like, and when you approach them about something, they can never own up to what they did. They're always trying to blame someone else for what they did. Every single Leo I know in my life has done that. But anyways, that's another task, y'all. Y'all might have to do separate videos. This might be like any story time about how I end my toxic cycle with my situationship or sneaky link. Maybe I'll do that, and then maybe I'll do like story time of how I ended my toxic relationship with my friends. But whatever. So anyway, so boom, when it comes to the relationship part, y'all, we both didn't want to be with each other. Like, we even came to agreement of like not having sex with other people, but we were just could talk to other people, date other people, because I think deep down we both were like, what if we find somebody better? That sounds so sick and it's so toxic, you guys, but I think deep down inside we knew that we were not meant to be. And I think it's really because, for me personally, it was not meant to be because Larry didn't put any effort. Like, he barely, like, he communicated, but when he communicated, it's always text message. It's always fucking dry. You know what I mean? Like, every little thing about him would piss me off. But when you know somebody for so long and like you're so used to the same shit and they're not changing, it really pisses you off. Everything about them irritates you. So literally everything about him had made me mad, and like I started becoming a mean person, and I started becoming mean to him as well. Like, I'm not gonna blame him for everything, you know. And I told him as well that I wanted to date other people. I told him about who I was dating and things like that. Like, I was very open. I'm very open with everyone about what I do. So at this time, you guys, it was like very below bare minimum. It was below bare minimum. And then like he would be like, oh, he has to work. Y'all, like, everything would be like, oh, he had to work. But you work for yourself. You know what I mean? You don't have a boss. So it's like, sorry. But yeah, he'll be like, oh, he has to work, and like make excuses why we can't hang out. And it's like, you make your own schedule, okay? If you wanted to make time for me, you will. And this is what you need to understand. Any man, if they want to do it, they will. Like, stop making men say, oh, they're nonchalant, oh, they don't have time, oh, this and this, oh, this and that. It's all lies. If they really like you, they're gonna do it. You know, they definitely will do it. So I was just like, okay, like, always some bullshit. And like I just kept breaking it off with him all the time for like the slightest things. I can't even remember half of them because I broke up with him like every other week. Like I'm not even playing with you. Like I'm not joking. So, you know, at the end of the day, it was like we weren't meant to be, but we were trying to force it because we known each other for so long and we kind of started off as friends. And I'm not going to say he's a bad person because he's not a bad person. And I'm not going to say I'm innocent either because, like I said, like I was talking to other people. I made it clear I didn't want to be with him. Like, although I really cared about him, and like a part of me at the time was like, like I need to just either be with him or not be with him. You know what I mean? I really had thought about it. Like, he can't offer me anything I want in a relationship. Like he can't. Like, I'm not even happy, you guys. And if you start feeling like you're in like a toxic relationship, you're not even happy, you're mad 90% of the time. Like every time you talk to them, your energy goes bad. Like when you're not talking to them, your energy is really good. Like, you know, you have high vibrations. But then every time you talk to them, like even if they say hello, or even if they start following you or something like that, it gives you negative energy. And when I tell you this happens to me, like every time Larry appears in some way, it gives me very bad energy. It gets me pissed off. Like I just become a different person. I don't like that about myself. And I don't like the way that I treat him several times, and the way I've talked to him hasn't been the best. And I just know like I'm not happy. And like being with somebody when you're not happy, it makes no sense. Because if you're not happy, they're not going to be happy. If you're not happy, why be in a relationship with someone you're not happy? And that's what I'm trying to teach a lot of women. It's like, why settle for someone that's not doing anything you want in a man? Like, you know how many men are out here? You know how big the world is? Why settle for someone that doesn't want to do shit? Like, and if you're in an abusive relationship, like that's even deeper. Like that is like, why put yourself in a situation where you could get killed? Y'all, that's the biggest thing, because I think a lot of women don't understand with abuse and domestic violence, you could be killed. These type of men are crazy and psychotic. These type of men don't care about consequences, and they also don't care about themselves a lot of times. Like a lot of times they love you more than they love themselves, so they'll take your life. So I don't know who I'm talking to, but maybe I need to talk to somebody. So if you're the person I need to talk to, like it can be hard, but you got to let those type of toxic situations go as soon as possible, because those are very dangerous. And like I said, they typically love you more than they love themselves. And they don't care if they got to go to jail, or they don't care if they got to kill themselves after they kill you. And I'm not trying to scare nobody, but this is facts, okay? And when it comes to being mentally drained and a toxic situation, you have to put yourself first. You have to love yourself. Now I'm going to talk, that's kind of telling you a little brief about the situation, because that kind of sums it up. It was very much a cycle. And I don't know if a lot of you guys ever had like those cycle relationships. It's like you break up, you get back together, you break up, you get back together. It's like if you got to keep breaking up with somebody, you don't need to be with them. You're obviously unhappy. If you breaking up with them like every other day, you can only have one good day, that's when y'all first get back together, and then everything else is terrible, baby, move on. Okay, y'all? So I'm going to just tell you guys how I moved on, what I did and stuff like this. Now, my number one tip, baby, when dealing with a toxic person, never get in a relationship with a toxic person. Because even if it's like your sneaky link or a situationship, sorry, I'll be looking back to see what Chanel's doing. Even if it's a sneaky link or a situationship, keep it at that, y'all. Date, keep your options open. I'm really grateful that I kept my options open no matter what. I kind of stood my ground on like keeping my options open, and he also kept his options open. And that actually helped me in the end. It's not healthy because you could just leave somebody, but if you feel like you can't leave a person and they're not physically harming you, then you should definitely date. Like, do not get in a relationship with somebody and it's actually toxic, like, and you're not talking to other people, you're not dating other people. Obviously, you need to make it clear to the person you're talking to that y'all both are dating other people. But the only reason I said this is very helpful is because although at the time, like, I feel like I actually at the time loved Larry, you know, at the time. But when I was talking to other people, now I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people I was talking to, they could never compare to him. And the reason why they couldn't compare to him is because I was attached to him. And that's the biggest thing about toxic relationships and toxic situations, is just attachment. So you got to find ways to detach yourself. The first step to detaching yourself is getting away from the person, cutting all ties of communication. If you have any communication with a person, you're never going to move on. You're never going to move on. You're going to be stuck in a fucking vicious cycle, okay, guys? So you got to cut communication. That means blocking. Like, you got to block them on everything. Like, phone, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all of those things. Like, you got to pretty much block them. This is when you're going through the stage of, like, sadness. You know, for me now, I feel like I'm kind of at a point. I'm not going to lie, Larry is blocked. And he recently appeared somewhere else. But I'm at a point now that I'm just like, I'm happy. Like, I'm happy. I moved on. Like, I'm feeling my energy is a lot better. And, like, I really worked on myself. Like, this time around, I really worked on myself because I had other shit going on in general. So, this, like, you know, he's still blocked on everything else. But I don't even feel like I have to go through this and just block him over there either. Because, you know what? I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm happy. Everyone knows that I'm in a relationship. Like, everyone knows that I'm with somebody else now. You know what I mean? So, the first step is to definitely cut ties and block them everything, especially in the beginning stage, because it's going to be so much easier to fall into that, like, getting back together thing and going, you know, on and off thing. And also, you guys, working on yourself. And the way I worked on myself is I actually wrote a letter. This is definitely going to have to be a segment. Sorry, guys. I have to do one about friends because... And with the friends one, I might actually do a story time. Because with the friend one, it kind of tell you guys how I met my boyfriend. Like, it's crazy. So anyways, y'all. So this situation with yourself, you have to kind of write down, like, what happened, what that person did to you, how that person made you feel in this toxic cycle. Because you got to definitely let go of the toxicity. And, like, you don't want to carry that on into your new relationships or to your new life. You know what I mean? So, definitely write down how you feel, how they treat you, how you know, how, like, you felt about the whole relationship and how it really hurt you. And then you have to say you forgive that person. You have to say it. You have to mean it. And you have to write this in a letter. Some people actually will write it and send it to the person. You know, some people will write it and send it to the person. And me, I didn't. I just literally wrote it. And I think did I tear it up? Or do I still have it? I don't fucking know. But I wrote it and I just let it out. I cried and I let that go. Like, that's a big step to do. And then working on your actual self is you got to tell yourself, like, all these great things about yourself. Like, a bunch of affirmations, positive affirmations, like, I am beautiful, I am kind, I'm worthy of love, I am these things. Like, once you start believing that you are these things, you will become these things. And I'm actually falling off track with my affirmations and with my good energy. And I'm going to come back to that with my mindfulness, because once you have mindfulness, you have happiness. Like, that's what I learned in life, is actually happiness is having mindfulness, meditating, saying positive things to yourself. And once you put that positive energy in the world, once you forgive that person, and this video is actually my final, like, forgiveness. Honestly, like, this is my final forgiveness. This is my final time talking about this person on YouTube, final time talking about this person on TikTok. Anything in my life, I'm past this. Like, I'm past this. I have way more in my life, you know, than just these things. Chanel, what are you doing in there? Get out of there. Ramel don't want you on his blanket. Come sit down before we go outside. Come on. And relax. You're doing too much. So anyways, y'all. So you definitely have to also forgive yourself, because a lot of times we beat ourselves up because we stayed into something too long. And you really need to forgive yourself. Like, you got to forgive yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to give yourself positive affirmations. Like, you have to set goals for yourself. And, like, if you're looking for love, baby, trust me, once you finally let go of a toxic relationship, or toxic situationship or whatever you call it, once you finally get let go of a toxic cycle or a toxic relationship, you will find love, and you will find the type of love you want, and you will attract the type of person you want, because you are putting out what you attract. And so if you don't have all this anger and toxicity on you, then you're going to attract people that are not toxic. You're going to attract people that are happy as well, that, you know, treat you the way you want to be treated. And long story short, you guys, with me and Larry at the time, the final straw for me, just so this is the last story time, because I kind of want this segment to be like a story time / advice. Okay, and the next one's going to be about my friendships that ended. But so with this situation, the last breaking point for me was, I was actually at a very, he never knew this, but at this point I was at a low point in my life. You know, I was going through a lot of stress at work. You know, I was just very unhappy with my job. I was very unhappy with him, honestly. I should do a segment about toxic jobs too, and how to let go. Y'all, I'm gonna make this a whole segment. Hopefully you guys like it. I don't know if you will, but if you will like it, make sure you comment. But anyway, final straw was, I wanted to have a conversation with him because I was just so unhappy. I was unhappy at work. I was unhappy with him. I don't even know why this day I was just kind of like over him. Sometimes I got in moods like that. I can't even tell you why, but it was just, I was over him. And I was like, okay, can you come over my house tonight and like let's talk and stuff like this. I guess when you tell a man let's talk, it is a nerve-wracking. But he had told me, because I was like, oh, I can come to your house and we can talk. He's like, no, I'll come to your house, because he probably didn't want me to pop up on his ass. So he had told me he was going to come to my house. He never showed up, y'all. He never showed up. He didn't answer, anything like this. AKA ghosted me for the day or the night. And then going to text me in the morning like everything was cool. And that's when I just like told him, I don't remember, I cannot remember exact words, but that's when I just told him like, I'm done. I'm just done. Like, this is not it. Like, it really pissed me off. That really pissed me off because I was going through like a very dark time. It pissed me off because I was going through a dark time, and like honestly I was thinking maybe like he would have came over at that time and we could have had a discussion and we could have got past like what was going on, and like, you know, maybe he could have made me feel better about what situation I was going on at work. But he didn't come. So I was like, no, this is God literally telling me to leave this man. Like, this man is a piece of shit. I'm sorry to say it. Like, he's a piece of shit. Like, he can't even come to your house and have a conversation with you. He's immature. That's the word. He's very immature. So, y'all, at that point, I said, let me let go. Let go, let God, you know. At this time, I think at the time when I broke it off, yes, I was actually talking to my current boyfriend at the time as well when I like broke it off with Larry. Like, me and like my boyfriend was like talking like as friends probably for like a couple months, like maybe 2 months or whatever. And then after that situation, probably like by the 3rd month, I don't know how to add all this shit up, I ain't gonna lie. By the 3rd month though, like that's when we became like very interested in each other, like very like dating, like something happened and we just started like really liking each other. We was talking every day. We was like sitting, like we would just have shit to talk about every fucking day. And at this point, y'all, we was just texting. We was texting, Snapchatting, sending videos, sending voice notes. Like, we weren't even FaceTiming at this point, y'all. And we just had some shit to talk about every fucking day. And like every time I had something like I was going through, I was able to talk to my boyfriend about it. Like what happened? Oh, when I had this trip, I had this trip. I was in New York, and one of my family members had a whole problem. I had to leave her house in the middle of the night. If y'all want a story time on that, just let me know. She had a whole problem, so she AKA kicked me out. And before I got to the airport, I talked to him about it. And like he was there for me to listen and stuff, and like, you know, be there for me. And also like when I was in Jamaica, y'all, I was going through a fucking psychosis. If you ain't seen my YouTube video, make sure you watch it. Like when I was high as shit and I thought like someone drugged me and shit like this. So he was there for me, didn't think I was weird, didn't be like, you're stupid, nothing. Like, it was just so healthy. And this was like when we were just like talking as friends, you know. And then like we start really like liking each other, and like we just, I don't know, it just naturally happened, y'all. Like, I never thought it would happen. Like, I don't even know if he thought it would happen. But like, now we've been talking for 8 months, and like we just got in a relationship like a few months ago. So, and I'm really happy. Like, I'm truly happy, and I never felt this happy. And I'm not lying, you guys. I'm not lying. I'm not making things up. But I'm like, this is fucking weird. You know, when you're used to a toxic cycle and you get into a good relationship, it's like, what the fuck? Like, what is, no drama? Like, no problems? Like, what the fuck is going, like, you know what I mean? Like, you be like, what the fuck? But yes, like, I really feel like I found my soulmate. You know, we are literally compatible when it comes to signs. He's a Cancer and I'm a Pisces. And like, I think his rising is like a Sagittarius, and mine is Scorpio. So I have a lot of Scorpio energy. Both of my rising and my moon is Scorpio. So it's like, Chanel, I'm gonna whoop your ass. Go to bed. Go to your bed. Go. No, go to your bed. Go. And stay in there. Jesus. Sorry, y'all. This video will have so many cuts in it because my damn dog is doing too much. She was chewing on one of my labels. It's like, these dogs be worse than kids. Okay, y'all? So anyways, y'all. This man just showed me different. Like, he really showed me, my boyfriend showed me, you know, he showed me different, y'all. And I didn't come out of my situationship and just like got in a relationship with him. Like, I was talking to him throughout my situationship, and we didn't even get serious until after that chapter was over, honestly, because I couldn't be serious with anyone. Like, y'all, I haven't been serious with nobody in fucking 3 years. Like, let's be honest, I haven't been serious with anybody for 3 years. But I knew that my man, I won't say his name, I knew my man was the one. Like, I really still believe my man is the one. Like, he better not play with me, cause baby, you better ask these niggas about me, cause I'm crazy. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so like, I'm just truly happy, and I feel like I had to leave that and like 100% let it go. Cause in the past, I never really let it go. Like, I didn't block him. I kept communication open. I would just fall into every little hello, every little trap, every little follow, every little fake page, you know. And now I'm past that. I'm moving past that. Like, y'all, I can't wait to do, I'm gonna do a story time next about how my man surprised me on my birthday. Oh my god, that was such a great birthday, y'all. I don't know if y'all like positive story times, but I'm gonna do a story time about my man, because baby, when I tell you, he done changed my life and my expectations and my just everything. Like, y'all, everything. Like, he's like my best friend. Like, it's fucking crazy. But anyways, y'all, I'm not gonna get into a whole spill about my new relationship, but just this video is pretty much just to tell you about like my situation in a toxic situationship, and how I got out of a toxic situationship. And some people might not think it was toxic, but I didn't want to go into full details because, I mean, honestly, I don't know what to tell you guys. Go look at my Sneaky Leak Gone Wrong. Like, it was just crazy. It was crazy, messy, childish. Yeah, but I'm truly happy now. I'm happy that I'm focused on myself as well. Like, me and my boyfriend, we are in a long distance relationship. So it's very easy for me right now to be able to focus on myself. Still doing a lot of self-love, taking myself on dates, buying myself flowers. Oh yeah, guys, that's what I also did. So make sure you're treating yourself the way you want to be treated by a man, and that's going to actually manifest what you want. Okay, because that's what I did, and that's what I got. Okay, all right, I'll do a story time on that. But yes, thank you guys for watching. I hope y'all like this video. It's very talking. I'm like a preacher, but it's all right. All right, I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.